What's going on, everybody? I'm going to give this just a second to make sure that the live stream hits my window up here. It shouldn't take too long. Okay, looks like it's receiving content, so we should be ready to go. So this video, this live stream, is going to be a clarification of Wednesday's live stream, because as I looked through what I said in Wednesday's live stream, I essentially said a lot. I told a lot of stories, and I never really complete my points. So one of the reasons I'm doing the live streams is so that I can get better at articulating my arguments completely, because I'm terrible at doing that. I will initiate and start a conversation and then, or a point, and then I will get sidetracked with a story. So the main objective of this for just the YouTube audience, not Facebook or Instagram, is to clarify some of my points and what I actually think about the reclass scenario. So the first thing I think about reclassing, or any type of modification of the age or of the year that you are going to be in school, is completely up to you. So I don't think it's a bad thing if people are going to either go into school early, or like go up a grade, or go down a grade if that's what's right for them. The question is, and the question that was asked of me that I skirted around but didn't actually address, is why did US Lacrosse abandon the age-based tournaments? And they did. Well, they have to have, because adrenaline tournaments you have to be a US Lacrosse member, a US Lacrosse coach, in order to attend those tournaments. So that means that US Lacrosse is okay with these tournaments running themselves in a graduation year based tournament. And with graduation year, that's where your reclass issues come in. So my actual perspective on reclassing is, you're okay to do it. Go ahead, reclass all you want. Now, from a tournament perspective, I do see the value in maintaining age-based levels. Now, at the U15 level and at the U14 level, anywhere where some kids have hit puberty and some kids have not, you're going to have that. You're going to have the 6'2" kid and the 5'1" kid. It's just kind of how it is. And if you add in, say for this year, let's see, we are in next year will be the 2020 class. So let's say we're talking the 2023 class. If a player was held back in kindergarten and took another year in 8th grade, their peers, the same age as them, would be juniors this year. However, they would be playing with freshmen. And because they will graduate in 3 years or 4 years, not 2 years, those kids are going to be much bigger, and that's what creates the bad part of graduation-based tournaments. Now, the hard part, and this is another thing I mentioned, I don't know if I really clarified my point on Wednesday, was that when a college coach comes to a tournament, which they're paying, coaches are paying $5,000 to attend these tournaments, and these kids are paying, $2,000 for a summer, probably more than that. There's a lot of money that goes into it, and because they're getting the college coaches to come. And when a college coach sits down at a game, he doesn't want to have to flip through and see that one player is going to be graduating in 2020 and the other is going to be graduating in 2021 and the other is going to be graduating in 2022. Now, for our POWLAX teams, oftentimes we have a variety of kids from a variety of age groups, and we don't fill up one specific age group. And so when I create pamphlets for college coaches for our Chicago tournament, they do have to look through and kind of know which kids gonna graduate when, but for like showcases and things of that nature where it's just one recruiting class, it makes sense for the tournaments to have it on graduation year, because a college coach can sit down at a game and he can know that everyone on that field is a 2020 or is a 2022 or whatever the year may be. And that I didn't really clarify. I basically said that a coach should be able to sit down and look at a piece of paper and see what year kids are, but it's more than that. It's the fact that if, say, a coach from a team needs to get some kids for the 2021 class, they're not going to go to the 2020 games because they've filled up that year. And so it makes sense for the tournaments to allow and to do graduation year. I do not agree that that is the best thing for the sport, but I do see the reasons why they do it. So I think that the best thing for lacrosse in general and the soul of the sport is going to be to make sure everything gets back to the age-based thing. Because the only way you can manipulate that is, whether it's August 31st or September 1st, no woman's going to care about that on August 31st. Like, no, hold off. We want him to be in the next year, or let's get that kid out because we want him to be, we want him. Yeah. Hold off on having that kid. We want him to be the oldest in his age group. There was an interesting study that I read. So one of the things I read in my live stream on Wednesday was that in Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers book, it wasn't his 10,000 hours saying, is that the best hockey players in each class tended to be within the first 3 months of that year. And so for me, I was born in March. I was always on the younger age of my age. And then my dad and my stepmom, Joe, they were both, June, July-ish. I think my dad's like September. But so he was on the very, very end. And so he was really young for his age. But either way. But so the only way you can really manipulate that is by age, and I think that doesn't matter as much as actually reclassing. So that's my actual perspective. I don't know why U.S. Lacrosse caved. I think that they should uphold their standards, and I think that the college coaches should have to get a page on each team based on, what their age actually is. Now, that does create the issue of a player who has already reclassed or went into school late, because now that they are a senior in high school, if they are too old to play in the oldest division of that tournament, they will have nowhere to play. And so that is the tough part for some of the players now who have already almost like been held back. But I do think it'd be the best thing for the sport to make sure that it is an age-based thing, not something where you can reclass. So that's my kind of clarification of my thoughts. I think I hit everything pretty decently. And this is just a clarification video on Wednesday's video because I couldn't keep my points across. So I think that's all I really needed to say. And have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be playing in the Farmers Classic tournament for the POWLAX team this weekend. Should be a fun time. Let me know if you guys have any other questions, anything you want me to address in another live stream. Make sure to follow on, all that stuff, basically all my plug stuff. Follow the Patreon, follow all that other crap. And have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next video.